Columbus Blue Jackets versus Washington Capitals game at Nationwide Arena, and you're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams.
It's about time.
Yeah, I know. I'm still sick, but I'm much better. I thought that it would be a good time for us to talk a little bit about hockey. To be honest, I haven't watched much hockey in the last week. I've just been sleeping and resting and spending some time on Netflix. And I honestly have maybe watched one game in the past week. So you guys know way more about what has happened in the hockey world than me in the past.
I might even know more about what's happened.
Yeah, you definitely know.
And that never happened.
Yeah, so
that's how sick you were.
I've got my voice back. We filmed Having a Yak yesterday.
We did.
So since I haven't watched any hockey, the only thing I could do is look at statistics. So I went on NHL.com and a few other sites, and I really wanted to pick a team from the West and a team from the East and talk about them a little bit. So I chose Winnipeg and I chose Columbus. And I have something else to talk about after I talk about those two teams. But I want to start with Winnipeg.
All right.
Because this is really interesting. I looked at the team as a whole. I'm not going to talk about players. It's the team as a whole, and I looked at all of the major categories. Goals for, goals against, face-offs, the main categories that you look for in a team. And I'm going to read them to you. I'm going to read where they fall in these categories. It's really interesting. Penalty kill. They're 5th in the league, 82.8%. Power play. They're 4th, 23.1%. They are the only team in the NHL in the top 5 in both power play and penalty kill.
That's hard to do because
very hard to do.
Most of the time a team might be really good at one thing but suck at the other. And to be good at both is pretty rare.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
they're the only team. Actually, they're the only team even close to being in the top 5 in both categories. So special teams on Winnipeg, if you're going in the playoffs, special teams is so huge.
Yeah.
So that's massive. Points. In the league, they're 5th, 100 points. If we look at point percentage, because teams have played less games than others and stuff, point percentage, they're actually 4th in the league. So, still top 5. Goals for, they're 5th in the league. 243 goals for. Goals against, 4th, 190 goals against. So, top 5 in goals for, top 5 in goals against, top 5 in power play, top 5 in penalty kill, top 5 in points percentage. Face-offs. 5th, 52.5%. They are top 5 in so many important categories in the NHL going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really, like that. I've been kind of sleeping on Winnipeg. Let's start to pay attention to Winnipeg. If you're a Winnipeg fan, like if you're just looking on paper, I know it's not all about looking at numbers on paper. There's a lot more to it than that. But damn, this team looks good on paper. Seriously. I know they've got some injury problems and stuff to deal with, but wow. I would not want to face Winnipeg in the playoffs. I know they've never won a playoff game since they've come back to Winnipeg.
That will certainly change this year.
Absolutely. There's no way that they get swept. It's going to be an absolutely magical experience watching Winnipeg this playoffs. I'm really, really excited. If we go over to the East, I want to talk about Columbus. So I went back to February 25th. So we're filming this on Sunday, the March 25th. I went back in just exactly 1 month, and I wanted to look at their seasonal statistics of where they fell in the NHL versus how they've done in the past month, because they've been hot in the past month.
Yeah.
So they've played 14 games since February 25th. Their power play percentage in the whole season, 30th. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. In the last month, 18th.
Okay.
So they've really improved their power play.
That's substantial. So that's the last month, just for that month, or the last month included in the stats for the rest of the season?
The last month.
Okay.
18th.
Okay.
And this is, I wanted to do this because it's not all about seasonal statistics when you enter the NHL. It's all about how you're playing when you enter the NHL.
Yeah.
Nashville's the perfect example. Montreal in 2010. LA did it when they
say enter the NHL, but you meant the playoffs.
Enter the playoffs, yeah. I'm sick, but I'm still stupid.
No, you're not.
Enter the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the big mo, right? If you're doing the last 10 games
absolutely.
And you're on a good roll and you charge into the playoffs on a high.
It doesn't matter where you fall seasonally when you enter the playoffs. If that was the case, Washington would have 7 Stanley Cups in the last 10 years. And St. Louis would have the other 3. So.
And Nashville wouldn't have had a sniff last year.
So if you look at penalty kill, 24th as a season.
Right.
In the last month, 14th. So huge improvements on their special teams. That's awesome. Goals for, 21st seasonal. In the last month, 2nd.
No kidding.
And it's an easy formula. When you score a lot of goals, you win games. So
sort of like one time I heard a NASCAR interview, and they were asking the driver, "What's your strategy?" Well, my strategy is just to go faster than all the other guys and finish first. and then in the NHL, it'd be score more goals than the other team.
Exactly. Goals against, they were 10th in the league seasonally. Big thanks to Bobrovsky. And they actually jumped up to 7th, which is not surprising considering.
And it's not easy to do when you're going back to the early part of October, and you've got this entire history of how you've been doing, and then to turn that corner in the last 30 days.
Yeah,
it's really impressive.
It really is.
28 days, I guess, in this case.
Face-offs, 26th in the league seasonally. Not great. Up to 19th. So they're improving in so many categories. They're not just scoring goals. They're doing other things as well, working on their power play, working on their penalty kill, face-offs, all these little things to prepare and to enter the playoffs. They're on a 10-game winning streak as we're filming this. So,
well, they did lose last night to St. Louis.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So that the streak finally got broken. But again, you
St.
haven't been watching hockey. But
exactly. St. Louis is on a 5-game winning streak.
They're doing very well.
I do know that.
Yeah.
So good to see that from Columbus. Actually,
it's really
it
good.
Should make things interesting in the playoffs, and hopefully they give Pittsburgh a run for their money if they play Pittsburgh. And if they play the way they're playing, they could actually go up to first and pass Washington, which is amazing because two to 3 weeks ago, I think they were out of a playoff spot because Carolina had jumped them at one point.
I think so, yeah.
Amazing, really.
It really is. They've put together so many points in the last, in that 10 games, think of it, they went from 68 points to 88 points in 10 games.
And
that's
kind of like Calgary did last year.
Stupendous. Yeah, very much like Calgary last year. And I know this isn't part of the topic, and you have other things you want to talk about, but I got looking at all the standings. Based on the debate we've been having, we talked about it last week in the Post to Post podcast, changing the playoff rules.
Right.
If you went the 1 versus 8 system right now, you'd have Tampa Bay playing whoever. It's going to be Columbus or somebody who's in the bottom 2 wild card.
New Jersey, I think.
New Jersey. Boston is next.
They play Philadelphia.
They would play Philly. Toronto would play Columbus, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And if you're a Leaf fan, would you rather play Columbus in the first round, or would you rather play Boston? And that's who you're going to get. You're going to get Boston, and you're not going to have home ice.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just not right.
Yeah.
Because the top 3 teams in the Atlantic, and you've said this many times, all 3 of them are ahead of the top 3 teams in the Metropolitan.
And it's not like it's just been like that for the past 2 weeks. We're talking probably the last 4 to 5 months. It's been like that.
And is that really fair to have the top or the second and third level team in the entire 8 playing each other?
Yeah.
I just think that's wrong.
It's unfortunate. It really is.
Anyway, I've interrupted your flow there.
The only thing I have to add at the end here is very small. In the last 10 games, so I want to talk about players, not players specifically, but in the last 10 games, players who've scored the most points.
Sure.
So the top 10 most points in the last 10 games. How many of those 10 do you think are centermen? I know it's not really. It's going to be a guess but
I'll guess 3.
I would have guessed probably around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
7.
What?
7 of the 10 most points are centermen.
And are they scoring from the dirty zone, like right in front of the net?
I don't know where they're scoring from, but it shows you how important a top center is on your team. We're talking about McDavid. We're talking about McKinnon's up there. It's really, really important. So teams like Montreal, who don't have a number 1 center.
They don't have Montreal doesn't have a number 2 center, and they don't have a number 3 center.
They don't have anything. So
they've got 4 number 4 centers.
Yeah, it really shows you the importance of a number 1 center.
Yeah,
and you can see that in the top 10 in the last 10 games. So it's cool.
That's very impressive.
That's basically all of the research I did. I wanted to look at the numbers because that's really all I could do. So,
well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. I know you've been in recovery for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I released some videos, and they're like, "Oh, you're better." I'm like, "No, I filmed that before I was sick."
Yeah. And you were laid pretty low with that. Do you know who gave it to you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that Friday night I went out and ate at Hunter's.
Right.
And then we went out and took pictures,
Right.
Chris and I. And it was really, really cold. So I don't know if that did it, but I got sick right after that.
Yeah,
so.
but you get sick from a virus, not from being cold.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I just hope you're not contagious anymore, because this is the closest I've allowed myself to be here, and I'm getting out of here
Where's your
quick.
big bottle of...
The squirt stuff? I took it back upstairs to sanitize everything that you go near.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll be filming lots of videos in the next coming days and watching lots of hockey and getting caught up.
Right on.
And preparing for the playoffs. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for your patience as well. Not one single person was like, what's going on? Why isn't there any videos? Everyone was really understanding.
Why are you closing your channel?
Yeah, lots of good wishes towards myself and get well soon and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. I love this community, so thank you guys very much.
The wishes worked?
Yes.
You're getting well.
I'm getting better. So I hope you guys having a good day, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Adios.